Hello everybody, I'm Mike from Joe's All-Bite Tractor. We're going to talk about undercarriage on the crawler, what to look for, and how to kind of rebuild the rollers. Just a quick go through, and hopefully it helps you out a little bit on how to work on a crawler. This one here is off a John Deere 440 crawler. A John Deere 440 crawler and a 1010 and a 2010 crawler are very similar. They're almost actually identical. And their 40 and 420 and 430 are pretty close to being the same, but they're just a little bit different variation. But a lot of the rollers and stuff are identical. So alright, let's start on this undercarriage. Here's the undercarriage off the 440, like I said. So what I did on this undercarriage is I took it off the crawler. I figured it'd be a lot easier to work on the undercarriage, especially taking the rollers off and stuff, because a lot of stuff is really rusted tight and you got to heat everything all up. So all you do on a 440 and a 1010 and 2010 crawler is there's 4 bolts back here, or actually you take 4 bolts here, you can take this off. And then 4 bolts back here, you take those out, and then there's a little clamp here, you take that off, and then it slides right off the crawler. And the older ones, the 40, 420, 430, you're going to have 2 bars here. You just take the 4 clamps off and off it comes. But you're also going to have to probably take the sprocket off before you take this off, because the sprocket's going to hit the back roller. Alright, so on this undercarriage here, a couple things to look at whether you go buy a crawler or just want to go rebuild a crawler. What should I look at, to where, and what's broken? So on this undercarriage here, you can see she's been welded up and played up. This is a common spot in this area here. They like the fatigue crack. So this is one area you need to look at. And also here, now you got the tightener here with the spring, the tightener here, and you got the idler tightener roller. And these are the slides here that slide on this frame like this back and forth. So as you tighten it up, it stretches the track out. And so another spot for wear is you check underneath here. What you do is you take the roller and rob it back and forth. If you got a lot of wear, you're probably going to want to weld this all up and grind it down again. And also too, you can take these to a machine shop and have the tops ground off a little bit, or machined off, to bring them up a little bit. And John Deere does have spaces in here that you can add more or take more away to break up the slack. So on the back sprocket here, this one here, you can tell she's severely worn. You should basically always take your pinky, and that should be about the flat spot back here. And as you can see, it's not flat at all. It's very peaked and pointed. That's not good. It's this roller or this sprocket shot. And you can tell here, there's chunks out of it. So it was mislined, and she's really severely worn. And if I would lay this on the floor, you could go like this with it. It's not flat no more. It's bent out of shape. So it's totally junk. So now you have a stone guard here and a stone guard here to keep stone and dirt off these rollers. I took that off already. I heated the bolts up and worked them back and forth and got them off. So now I got 3 rollers left on here. This was a 5 roller. Some cars are a 3 roller, 4 roller, 5 roller crawler. Well, a 440 is a 5 roller. So I got 2 of them off right. I got 3 left here to kind of show you. So I look at this, look how bad that roller goes back and forth. That's really worn. This one here, not quite as bad. This one here is a lot better, but there still is probably an 1/8 inch to 1/4 inch wear. That's a little more I would like to see, but it all depends on how much time and money and what you plan to use at the crawler. So to take these rollers off now, there's 2 bolts here and 2 bolts on bottom. You take them off, and off comes the roller. So here's your roller assembly. So now when you want to look at this, you want to look at this edge, and you want to look at this edge here. Thicker the better. When they get too thin, you'll see what happens here. They break out, or they break out inside here. So that's not good. So thicker the better. It should be probably like 3/16 of an inch, or even 1/4 inch. 1/8 inch is kind of starting to get thin. Now on the rollers here, there's a couple different styles, and so this one here, and all the rollers, there's a little jam nut basically that's on the shaft here on the axle. You take that off, And then you gotta look at, some of them have them, some don't. Depends on if the crawler's ever updated. There's a couple different style rollers. Some rollers don't have any bolts in here at all, keeper bolts, or there's a couple different terms, whatever you want to call it. And some don't. Some do and some don't. And this one here, it has one on one side. So you gotta take that out and then look at the other side, see if there's any. I took a little pick, you can see there's a hole there, but there's no bolt there. So you take the nut off, like I said before, you pop this off, the cap, and then you're gonna find a spring with a washer to keep the grease in and the dirt out. And then inside here, there's a bushing, a bronze bushing. As you can see, this one's severely worn. The bronze bushing it won't even tighten up there. And if I pull this axle out, you can see she's severely worn. So this basic axle, this whole thing's all junk. So there's two of these in each roller, one in front, one in back. And now this is the old style roller because there's no bolts here. So now on the other style, the newer style, they have, you do the same thing. You take the cap off again, and then what you gotta do is then you gotta look at, now I got this plate on here. How do I get that off? Well, you take a little pick, clean all the grease off, and then clean it out and take an Allen wrench. You take these out, like that. You pop this off. Oops, got one more bolt. Pop this off, and you gotta remember there's gonna be shim washers, gaskets in there, so you gotta kind of keep a track of how many you have in there. And remember, when these are used now, there's gonna be a little play in there, so that it's not quite as critical, but you can take out some of the play by taking these out. So now on the other side, you have to do the same thing. Take the cap off, or first of all, take your nut, take the cap off, take your spring and washer off, and then off she comes, just like that. Out comes the axle. So what I did I got some rollers from Farmer John and some different axles. I got some good used axles and some good used rollers from him. I got new bronze bushing, put all new bronze bushings, puts the axles in, and there was just a lot of them were tight, or just a little bit of play. It was tolerable, it wasn't that bad, so I reused them. Now the top roller is very similar. So the top roller is just a little guy. And on the top roller, when you look at a crawler to buy or want to rebuild it, this cap here should be smaller than this roller here. But when they're severely worn like this, you can see this roller is actually smaller than the cap. So now what we're going to do is we unbolted it, and we're going to take the cap off now. And here too, there's probably going to be some shim washers also. So now we have another retainer washer here, and there's supposed to be actually two in here. I just took one off so it goes faster so I can show you. So we screw that off again. And same thing in here. There's going to be a bronze bushing in here and a bronze bushing in here, and there'll be an oil seal. So that's the same thing again on just like the bigger rollers. And as you can see here, we got a fair amount of wear here too. So a little bit of wear is not too serious, but a lot, yeah, then it's time to think about replacing them. Other than that, that's kind of the quick basic breakdown in the rollers and the crawler. If you have any restoration projects for us, give us a call at 920-894-2134. Joe Zabe has been in the restoration business for a very long time. We're the oldest second generation restoration shop in the country. And if you ever need any crawler parts, Farmer John is a great guy to work with. He's very knowledgeable. He's got a lot of inventory, and he's got a fast shipping. So his number is 404-569-3093. So if you ever need any parts from him, give him a call. He's a great guy. His name is John Weems, or Farmer John. He runs his business as. So thank you very much.